It is Thursday, January the 4th, here in Oshawa, Ontario. The temperature right now is -7 Celsius with the wind that's down to -17. You can see the pond here is completely ice covered. Although the sun is shining, it's an absolutely gorgeous day from a light perspective, but extremely cold, as you can well imagine. Over the Christmas and New Year's break, the weather was unseasonably mild, with the temperature ranging for anywhere from about 2 degrees up to 8 degrees, and primarily rain, so very similar to what you would see there in the UK. Right now, as I said, lovely, lovely day with the sun, but really, really, really cold, and definitely not a good time to be outside. I just want to come out and give you a quick update on what we're going through here. I'm happy to say my fish are all doing well downstairs in the indoor pond, with one exception that I'm going to show you in a few moments. Things seem to be going along well. Not a lot has been happening pond-wise in the last couple of months. So I haven't done any videos or anything recently, and I do apologize for that. I hopefully will be bringing some more to you shortly. And with that said, I'm going to go in and get myself warmed up. If you saw my earlier video of my measure up at the end of the season, you'll recall that I mentioned that the Kikokuru here had a ray broken on her dorsal fin right there, which I have trimmed off. And I noticed a while ago that she had started to develop some growth or some sores on the dorsal. You can just kind of see the information here. And I'm not sure what was causing that, but the growth had actually gotten quite thick. I'm thinking it's maybe just additional tissue perhaps on there. It was definitely thick and inflamed. So what I did is I have taken her out of the pond, sedated, and then done some treatments. I trimmed off the excess growth on there. She's had 4 injections of generic Baytril medication. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move her into my refurbished quarantine system. And I'll just give you a quick overview of that, and then I'll put her into the tank here, and I'll show you once she is in there. So the quarantine system I have is set up here. It's 260-gallon vats that are generally used as a stock tank for watering cattle and horses, that type of thing. I've had them set up for quarantine for quite a period of time. Generally, just they sit empty unless they're required for any usage. So what I did is I have refurbished both of them with lids. This one you can see here, that's kind of the lid. It's corrugated material on there. And the way it's set up is the pump at the bottom of the pond here, 600-gallon-an-hour pump, runs the water up into my Awasi 5000 BioSmart filter, which in turn is emptying into the top tank, and then that water returns down through the pipe into this tank. So while the fish will actually only have physically an amount of sort of 160 gallons in the vat, total water volume is 320 gallons, not including what's in the filter, so that'll actually bump the amount up as well. And the reason I've done it this way is, again, it adds double the water volume compared to the single tank. I'm also able to put in a heater, which I have done. You can just kind of see it lying at the bottom there. It's a 500-watt hydro heater, and you can see it's set at 68 degrees at the moment. The heater is courtesy of Chris Stubbings, I should say, of Stubbs Aquatics. He was kind enough to give me this heater a little while back, and I just set it up today. So all the water that's in here now came out of my main indoor pond, and I wanted to sort of keep the temperature reasonably close before I transfer her over into this tank. It's set at 68 now. I'm going to add a bit of fresh water and warm it up a little bit, and then I'll turn the heater up as well. And the opening that you see here will be covered. I do have a sheet of plexiglass that I'm going to be putting on there once I have it filled up to the level I want it at, to help maintain the heat. Because in past, when I've used these tanks, it's cost quite a bit to run the heaters in them. I had a couple of 200 watt heaters that I used previously, but because they weren't covered adequately, it was a lot of heat loss and therefore extra money to operate the heaters. And so what I'm going to do, as I said, I will move her into the quarantine tank. And I've already moved another fish in here. It's actually one of my small ones. That was the sort of really, I'm sorry you can't see too well because of the reflection here. That is actually my smallest koi. That was a really dark Ochiba that I showed in the measure up. It's my belief that the fish are always more comfortable if they have company. Now maybe that's just me, I'm not sure. But anytime I'm treating fish or anything like that, other than kind of a sedate treat, put them back in the big pond, I like them to have company. And this way, she'll have company in here. As I said, the smaller fish, which is not going to be taking up kind of as much water volume, with the filter running, and it'll get cleaned on a regular basis. When I say regular, I'm not sure exactly how frequently that'll be. I'll certainly keep an eye on it. Anybody who's had the Iwasi BioSmart filters or is familiar with the Iwasi products, you're going to know they're a good quality product. The hose running up here is the feed. The one you can just kind of see looped there is from the drain, which will go down into my sump barrel here to pump to waste. And I just sort of put it up there to keep it out of the way at the moment. So what I'm going to do now is I will move her into the tank, and then I'll get the water running on here. And once the water level is up to where I want it, then I'll put the plexiglass cover on and I'll just show you what that looks like. So I'm going to move her now. I'll put the camera down so I can do that. I'll get the water running to warm things up a little bit, and I will be back with you in a few moments. Alright, she is now in the quarantine tank along with the other fish. Again, it's a little hard to kind of see with the bubbles coming in. Just put that hose down a bit there. You can see her there. Again, I know it's not a lot of room in here, certainly ample for them to swim around. The water I've got going in now it's warm water. It's certainly not hot water by any means. I mean, that would not be well for the fish. So that's going to go in. And that will enable me to kind of warm things up in the water here gradually using the heater. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the pump back on just to get the water from the upper tank circulating into the bottom tank. So I'll plug that in, get that going now. And then I will be back with you in a moment to show you that running and with the lid on the tank as well. Explain kind of why I have moved her into this tank. So again, just bear with me for a moment. Alright, I have turned the other filter back on, plugged the pump in, so that's now pumping water through the filter into the upper tank, which is now flowing down into the bottom tank, and that will get a little heavier flow as the filter fills up and starts processing more water. I'm running some warmer water into the tank here to gradually warm things up for her and the other fish. And one of the reasons that I have them in this tank is, although she was doing reasonably well in the big pond, the indoor one, the water temperature in there is about 64 degrees Fahrenheit, or about, what's that, about 18, 19 Celsius, so, you know, kind of chilly. And it's obviously treating her in that tank with salt or anything like that would become an issue. And in this tank, I can add as much salt as I feel is necessary to kind of help the healing process and help her come along. I've already put some salt in here, so it's now sitting at about a 0.2 on the salt meter. I will gradually increase that over the next few days to get it up to probably a 0.5 in that range, something like that, for a week or two, and then we'll gradually start reducing that as I'm doing filter cleans and water changes. So I'm going to let this fill up a little bit more. As you can see, the water is coming in there pretty well now. The filter is operating well, and you can see before, if you recall, when I showed you the heater, the reading was 68, it's up to 69. and that's just based on the warmer water going into the tank here. So I'm going to fill things up pretty much up to the top, again, just to allow for the volume. So to be somewhere up to this, there's the top of the tank here where the screen is, where the cover. It's going to go up to about that point there. So it's got another 3-4 inches to go in here. I have added the chlorinator into the water. As I said, the bulk of the water that was in here in both tanks was out of the indoor pond. So I know it's perfectly safe for them to be in. This is just topping it up so with slightly warmer water. And I'm going to bump the temperature up, as I said, over the next couple of days into the, the Celsius range would be around 22, 23, something like that. Fahrenheit in around a 75, so that the metabolism is going to pick up. Therefore, she should heal more quickly, and with the salt being added in there as well. This will also enable me to get a better look at her, on a regular basis. At a close-up view, shall we say, just to make sure that she's doing okay and see how the dorsal is coming along. So I'm sure she's going to be fine now that she's in here. As I said, once the pond here, or the tank, is filled up to the level I want it at, I'm going to put the cover on. I will show you that. And then, because it's a very light, thin cover, I have a couple of straps I'm going to use to secure it to the vat itself, so that if she decides to jump at all, then she will just bump into the cover. She's not coming out of the tank, and the cover also will allow sufficient light in because it's clear. It's going to keep the warmth in, which is what I'm after, and she should be doing fine, I think, in there. Again, I'll give her some time in here just to make sure that she's healing up properly. And then as soon as I'm seeing some significant improvement in that dorsal, then I'll move her back into the tank with the other fish. And as I mentioned a few moments ago, she does have company in the tank, so she's not going to get overly stressed out by having the tank to herself, because again, I do honestly believe that does make it a bit stressful for the fish. So she's in there now. So just kind of down at the end, you can just kind of see her there. Once the water gets a little bit higher, just a bit more to go, I'll turn the water off, I'll put the cover on and show you once that's in place, just to give you an idea how much light and everything is going to get into the tank itself. And I'm going to set the light on a timer so that it will come on automatically in the morning at around 7 a.m. That's when the tank light, my indoor pond one, comes on as well. And then it'll go off again around 7-ish in the evening, something like that. So they get a full day kind of light down here, and I have that on the indoor pond also. So I'm almost to that point now where the water is kind of at the level that I'm wanting it at. Again, another inch or so to go. And then I will set the heater up about a degree or so. I just want it to warm up gradually, and then I'll make adjustments tomorrow. Every couple of days, bump it up a couple of degrees as well until I get to that 75 mark that I'm aiming for. And that way, as I said, I can keep an eye on her, make sure she's getting adequate food in the tank. As I say, I'm going to increase the salt level as well, and I will provide some updates with some upcoming videos, just to let you know how she is doing as well. So I'm going to set the camera down here for a moment so that I can go and turn the water off, because I'm almost at that point now where I want it to be. And then I'll come back, put that cover in place, and show you how that looks. And then we'll kind of end the video at that point. So thank you again for watching, and as I hope to bring some more videos to you shortly. I'm going to be making some changes to the indoor filter system in here. I have something in mind that I will show you at a later date. I'm kind of getting bits and pieces together. I'll be working on that. So I will bring that to you as well. So if you haven't already done so, please hit that like and subscribe button. Feel free to leave any comments below. And just remember, don't have a good day, have a great day. Take care, all. And just a quick update, I forgot to video the cover on the tank here that I mentioned a few moments ago before I kind of did my little ending speech there. So you can see it's a plexiglass sheet here, very thin, and it has the two straps there on it, the one here and the one down here. So that's definitely going to hold it in place. She's not going to be jumping. If she jumps, she's just going to bump this and go right back into the tank. And what is also in the bottom of the pond, it's turned off at the moment. I've got a couple air stones in there. I'll turn that pump on, get the air running in there as well, so they're going to have lots of water movement from the filter, lots of water movement from the air stones, and that will keep things comfortable for them. I'll be able to monitor her very, very carefully over the next days and weeks, just to make sure that everything is going well. So on that note, I will definitely end the video here, and I say we'll bring some updates in the very near future. Thank you all again.